Do you have any embarrassing stories from your past? You know, the kind your brain likes to play over and over when you're trying to get to sleep? Well, here's one of mine. Hey everybody, I'm Scott. If you're new to my channel, a couple years back I lost 100 pounds and I've kept it off since then. If you want to see the full story on how I did that, I'll link the video up there. But today we're going to be talking about one of my embarrassing stories that happened to me when I was still overweight. So yeah, around 2000, I don't know, 4 or 5, somewhere in there. I'm not exactly sure when it was. I was about 14, 15, 16 years old, something like that. Me and a couple of my friends and my brother went to this place in Portland. It's called Oaks Park. It's an amusement park. It's pretty lame. It's kind of like a carnival, really. But anyway, we went there. They have a few rides, and we went there just to hang out and have fun during the summer. There's one ride in particular I remember. It's called the Screaming Eagle. I had never been on it before, but it's one of the ones that like takes you like and spins and swings. So I was pretty overweight at the time. I don't know exactly how much I weighed back then, but probably 50, 60, 70 pounds overweight still. Got in line for this ride with my friends and my brother, and we waited, and I remember being nervous for getting on the ride. So we finally got to the front of the line. It was like a 4-seater thing where you'd sit. I was with my brother and my friends, Matt and Pat. Shout out Matt and Pat. Each section of the ride had like 4 little spots where you'd sit, and the ride had one of those things that like the safety harness thing came over the top of your body. And so they were putting everybody's safety harness on, and they got over to mine and they tried to put it down, and it would get down and go click, 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 and then it would like click and lock into place on everybody's except for mine. I think it was either my stomach or like my upper chest had a lot of fat in it. I tried to get it down myself. I couldn't. And then a worker came over and he tried to like get it down for me, and he had to bring over another guy, and he tried to get down. I remember they both were like pushing on it, and I was super embarrassed. Everyone was watching and they couldn't get it locked. I remember being mortified, but I remember there specifically, you'd think maybe people were laughing at me or making fun of me, but it actually was more similar to, there's a scene in the movie Space Jam where Michael Jordan has a bad baseball game and his son asks him,
"Did everyone get mad at you?"
And Michael Jordan responds and says,
"No, worse. Everyone was real nice about it."
The workers on the ride were like, it's your shoulders, man. You're too buff to be able to fit on the ride. Or somebody else said, oh, you're too tall to fit, even though my brother fit on the ride fine, and he's always been about 3 inches taller than me. So it wasn't my height, and I knew that. And everybody on the ride was like, oh, don't worry about it, man. Like, and I remember being just like wanting to die and just like basically running off the ride. I specifically remember too, there was a cute girl who was like, it's just because of your big shoulders. And I was just like, it was terrible. So anyway, finally got off the ride so everyone else could ride it. But unfortunately it wasn't over yet. My brother and my friends, I remember they were trying to like reset it or something, because mine wouldn't go click all the way down. So they had to like pull my brothers and my friends, they had to pull their safety harness up for some reason, and all of theirs got stuck, and we were like in the same like little section. And I remember hearing one of the workers say like, I don't know, this has never happened before. And some guy called to me, and he was like, he was in line probably seeing the whole thing happen, and I was standing far away, and he went like, hey man, good thing you couldn't get on the ride, because now it's stuck. And I was thinking like, well, it's stuck probably because I broke it. So anyway, I'm not exaggerating. It probably took 10 or 15 minutes. Like, they had to call over multiple people and like get tools out, and they finally got the thing unstuck. And I think that my brother and friends all just got off, and they did the ride without all of us. That was super embarrassing. I still think about that to this day. Definitely a hard situation. It's a tough memory. Don't love that one. Why am I sharing this story with you? Well, there's a couple reasons. I think one of the main reasons is because I think there's other people who have stories like this, and they can be a bummer and they can suck, but life goes on. I'm still here. I pushed through. I made it, and we all have embarrassing situations, but I think something important to remember is that most of the time in those situations, you're the only one who's thinking about it. I think if I asked my brother and my friends, they might not even remember this story. That's just something to keep in mind. I think if there's embarrassing stories from your past, weight loss or otherwise, just remember that people are usually more focused on themselves. The second and maybe main reason that I decided to share this story on the channel is because I think there's a misconception out there a lot of times about weight loss, and that the only reason to lose weight for people is to look better. And I will fully admit that was one of the main reasons that I started my weight loss journey. But I think that there's a lot of situations like this in people's lives, especially in my life, where I was really limited because of my weight. And I felt like I was sitting on the sidelines a lot of times in my own life. And I hated that feeling. I remember specifically there was a time where, again, my brother and some friends, we went to the Columbia River Gorge in Oregon to go on like a school like bike ride. And everybody, we were all about the same age, the same height, everything. But everybody, I remember being like way ahead of me on their bikes. And I basically kind of ruined the trip for everybody else. And I kind of remember just wanting to go home and not be there because I couldn't keep up. I just physically didn't have the cardio. I was really big, couldn't keep up with everybody on my bike. I had another situation where I was at like a summer camp type thing and there was a rock climbing wall and a bunch of my friends went to go do the rock climbing wall. I remember I went to watch them and it looked really fun. And I remember people being like, oh, come on, Scott, come and try it. And I was saying like, no, not gonna try it. Didn't think I could do it and I didn't want to be embarrassed. That was another situation where I felt like wasn't able to participate the way I wanted to. And then there's, I think situations like that kind of just compound themselves, unfortunately. I don't know the order of all these stories, but I think I might have been the youngest for the part where I broke the ride. And I kind of think something like that happens to you and it like makes you not want to try things in the future. So maybe I could have done the rock climbing wall, I don't know, but I feel like things like that kind of compound and they make it so you want to participate less in the future. Now that I've lost a lot of weight, I'm a lot of times super game to try anything. I want to try any physical challenge that I can try. I remember Kelsey and I went on a trip a few years back where we went zip lining and you had to rappel down a wall and you had to do all this pretty athletic, crazy stuff. And it was super fun and I loved the challenge. Now I feel like I'm going to see what I can do instead of just taking a step back and not participating. There was another story too of a time where I used to build houses in Mexico for mission trips. And one of the leaders said like, okay, who are we going to have on the roof? We can't have Scott up there. My weight was holding me back from something I really wanted to do. I was really passionate about those mission trips and I just hated the feeling of not being able to serve the way that everyone else could. All that to say is if you're someone who's on a weight loss journey or you're considering losing weight, I just really want to encourage you that there's a ton of reasons to lose weight. It's, yes, you may look better, you may end up feeling more confident, you probably improve your cardiovascular health, your long-term health, but also if you're a person who likes to get out there and be active, that's super, super important and valuable thing to losing weight. At least for me, this is just my experience, but ever since I lost the weight, I feel like I have a new lease on life and I'm just really excited to try everything that I can. I got some redemption a couple years back. We had a rock climbing wall at my works company picnic. It was awesome. I did it for hours. Kelsey had to basically pull me off the wall. Really fun. And I was, I lost 100 pounds. I was 300 pounds, over 300 pounds. If I can do it, you can do it. And just remember that even if you're feeling like giving up, don't give up. You can get there. I did it. If you're on a weight loss journey, be encouraged. It's worth it on the other side. I promise you. All right, guys, I really appreciate you watching this one. If you could give the video a like, that would really be great. It helps the channel a lot. If you could also subscribe, I'd appreciate that. And comment below. Do you have an embarrassing story, weight loss or otherwise? I'd love to hear about it. We can all commiserate together in our embarrassingness. Anyway, thanks a lot. We'll make another video coming up soon, and we'll see you guys then. Have a good one.